changing. So this is how we see it, how we see workers and the AI is really and many of these support is really changing. And here is one example. This is how we see the industry is going. A lot of AI is really a high dynamic. How can we have competitive and the best here is one example. We do a lot of development years on high every hall and propeller are unique. And then from the design and the design monitor development monitoring collection the years on when we collect every hall and propeller are real time information from the design we can also then monitoring then apply AI so when we collect we can optimize time information water radiation the propeller is performing we can also then apply AI and have more efficient operation optimization I can have faster acceleration on ferries and I can give many benefits like also prevent have more efficient
reflect back on what I heard earlier on, and for me personally, it just can't, trust in AI just can't be about accuracy. That's one important piece, but it has to be also about reliability. I mean, you need to be able to rely on the outcomes, right? And it's also about transparency. Very important is fairness. And finally, I think it's also about accountability, having somebody who is like, okay, that's the decision the algorithm took, but still I stand by that decision, right? So these are 5 important aspects for me.
Very important. And then, yes, we have to share these microphones.
No problem at all. 2 things for me. To trust something, I need to understand how it works. And 2 is I want agency, so I want choice in the matter. In case I don't trust something, I want to have an option. So that's the 2 things.
Thank you. Well, thank you for the question. In my point of view, I think to be trustworthy, it needs to be inclusive, sustainable, and also respects human rights and national jurisdictions.
Sounds very good. To reflect a bit on the values concerning us all, yesterday Prime Minister Modi spoke about the importance of protecting children and young people from the risks of AI. And you've also been, Minister, very clear that safeguarding children online is a priority for you and for Norway. Could you shed some light on what are you doing to protect Norwegian children and youth?
Of course, I really believe that children and young people have the right to be as protected in the digital world as in the physical world. And as by now, they are not. When we leave our children at schools or they play with friends, there's always adults there looking after them, like looking over. In the digital world, no one is there to take care of them. The big tech companies today, they have a lot of power. They gather a lot of data. We can see examples which is not very nice on what children are being exposed of. It leads to pressure, bullying, even examples of suicide, as we have seen. So there is a real need to protect children and young people online. That's why the Norwegian government now are proposing an age limit on social media on 15 years old. We are working together with partners in the European Union also. And I'm really happy that I heard both President Macron and Prime Minister Modi yesterday. That was great news. I feel that more and more countries are coming aboard because we are starting to see the real consequences. But also we have to regulate the tech companies as well, or the social medias, when it comes to dark patterns, dependencies, algorithms, and so forth. We have launched, or we are right now having a white paper at the Parliament in Norway as well. And at the end, I have to say, it's right to find the right balance, because we want to bring up children in this world that have digital competence as well. They have to learn to use the technology and to understand the technology and to do the critical thinking as well. So to find the right balance is about giving the teachers and the adults the right competence to teach the children the right things as well. So we have to be able to have 2 thoughts in our heads at the same time.
Absolutely. And having a safe society, it's also about social stability. Which brings me over to you, Mr. Takamura. Japan is known for balancing innovation and social stability. So how is this this philosophy, so to speak, reflected in the new national AI strategy?
Okay, the utilization of AI is directly linked to the industrial competitiveness and national security. And it's ideal to actively utilize AI to address social challenges, accumulate experience as data, and share it across organizations, thereby accelerating innovation and creating a virtuous cycle that further promotes its utilization. Japan is facing the declining the birth rate and an aging population, leading to the gradually shrinking society. But making utilization of AI leading the increasingly important. Nevertheless, unfortunately, AI has not yet been actively utilized in the daily life. Because it is recognized that the utilization of AI involves the various risks. For example, the technical risks such as misjudgment, hallucinations, and inappropriate output. And social risks such as discrimination and bias and criminal use, infringement of the privacy and the intellectual properties. And another one is the national security risk, including cyber attacks. Yeah, so these risks cause public anxiety. Yeah, so in the AI basic plan, therefore the pursuit, the trustworthy AI is not only essential for the dispelling public concern on risks, but also a crucial factor in actively utilizing AI and promoting innovation. Yeah, so in the AI basic plan, Japan pursue further promoting innovation while mitigating risks. And we will deepen the balance to ensure a human-centered AI society where the individual dignity is respected so that people, AI can work together continuously and pursue trustworthy AI to realize the most AI-friendly country in the world.
Thank you. Building on that, you mentioned AI-friendly. I will move on to you, Ms. Gangadharan. You are often described as a technology humanist. I just have to ask you about that. What does that mean?
Well, I think it's very simple, Mala, because technology cannot be there for technology's sake, right? I mean, we have technology to make the lives of people better and communities better. And probably it reflects back also on the whole theme of this AI Impact Summit that we are having here, right? It's really about how do we take it forward? How do we bring people forward? I love what the minister was saying. I mean, it's finally about how do we make it real for people to consume, right? So for me, it has always been not about, hey, what's the latest and greatest technology, but really how do we use that technology to shape and change. I can just give you, I know we are all talking about AI at this point, but if I just also reflect a few years back, right? I mean, we had a massive pandemic, right? And if I just take that example, the second wave of the pandemic was quite tough for India. At least many of you here in this audience would still remember that. But at the same time, I still remember how all of us kind of leveraged technology. And back then, the biggest need of the hour in India was to track the oxygen supply chain along the length and breadth of the country. And if I put on my SAP hat, I work for SAP, and back then it was really about how do we identify the top oxygen manufacturers in the country and use technology to be able to help the government of India have this digital dashboard that helped them to very quickly track the oxygen supply chain, right? And it was almost leveraging technology over the weekend, right? Because 80% of the oxygen manufacturers in the country run on SAP, but that's besides the fact. But it's about usage of technology for people and to save lives, right? So that possibly goes back to the tech humanist, what you're talking about. Yeah.
No, excuse me, we'll do the questions later. Please sit down. Please, thank you. Was it a pandemic or a bio-warfare? No, please, sir. Please, sir. Thank you. Well, actually, following India through the pandemic was quite impressive from Norway. I remember my uncle asking me if I had the vaccine, and he had it like a year ago, and we didn't have the vaccine. So, okay, we're going to move on to Amlan. When we had our preparatory chat, there were so many things you could talk about, but I'm going to stick to the fact that you're a tech lawyer and advisor to the Indian government on the AI guidelines. I was wondering, how would you describe the values that the policy is built upon?
Yeah, look, values, I'm going to interpret values slightly holistically here. So I'm going to talk about values in the sense of what's the spirit driving this, the guidelines, the governance framework, its approach to trust. And I'll just start with optimism. I think India, and you could hear this in Prime Minister Modi's speech yesterday, it's driven by a sense of optimism. And so even when we're talking about governance, it's an expansive view of governance. It's not about containment, it's not about regulation or risk mitigation only. It's also about driving adoption and the importance of capacity building, all of the things that Minister said early on, right? So I think that's the largest spirit in which we're talking about it. When it comes to values specifically, I think it's embodied in what the theme for this summit is, which is inclusivity, equality, access. So that's actually driving a lot of what the spirit of or the values of the governance guidelines are. So you'll see these referenced in the OECD, you'll see this referenced in the GPA conversations and what the UN is doing. And I think that's what India has also internalized in its governance frameworks. So that's about spirit, the optimistic spirit clearly on display here at the summit. Thematically value-based, I think, in terms of what the core values are in the summit. But I'll say in terms of actually implementing it, I think the approach that we're taking in India is that we don't need to reinvent the wheel. These values are embedded in our constitution. These principles of fairness and equality are constitutional rights that Indian citizens have. And there's no reason to believe this doesn't apply to AI. Right? So it's really about ensuring that these same values trickle down across from the Constitution to how laws are enforced, through how guidelines are implemented by all stakeholders, including companies, including how public officials enforce these laws. So I think that's the light touch kind of regulatory, agile approach that we're bringing to our governance framework in India.
Thank you, Amlan. You mentioned the optimism, and I'm just sensing that the same might be the case in Brazil. Luana, Brazil and India are both part of the BRICS grouping, large democracies with fast-growing economies and increasingly influential, both countries in shaping the global technology debate. And you have also, in Brazil, launched the National Artificial Intelligence Plan. What values are upheld by that plan?
Thank you for your question and for having me. Well, I think it's important to say that for Brazil, and specifically the ministry which I represent here, the Ministry of Management and Innovation in Public Services, understand that AI is not a matter of technology alone. There is a lot about an understanding of and the need for behavior that is responsible, ethical, transparent, that promote inclusion as well. So the plan that we recently launched brings all these values, brings the value of sovereignty as well to work with this important topic. And you know that Brazil has, for the last 2 decades at least, worked a lot with concepts related to digital public infrastructure. And it has been very important for us to promote better services to our population. And we understand that AI can help us to go to a next step and provide more personalized and more proactive public services to our population. But we also understand that we need to mitigate the risks, the challenges, and to do that in a very responsible and ethical manner. And we have been working a lot to promote that, especially related to data governance, data infrastructure, and to safeguard all the human rights and democratic values in this great endeavor that we are dedicated to.
Thank you, Luana. I just got a signal that we have 5 minutes left. I don't know where time went. So I'll back to the minister here. Norway often speaks about digital sovereignty or digital agency. Minister, what does that mean in practice for us? I mean, we're sitting here next to quite big countries. What does it mean to a small country?
It means everything. Talking about digital sovereignty, which is really the big topic of all discussions, I would say, today. First of all, Norway is a small country, 5.5 million citizens. We can't be self-sufficient in the digital world. We need cooperation. We need to work together with like-minded countries. Digital sovereignty is not about one thing. digital sovereignty is about a lot of things. It's many layers. It's a whole value chain. It is about everything from regulation, guidelines, framework, but also about critical minerals, semiconductors, data centers, fibers, connectivity, software, hardware. The list is very long. That's why you understand Norway can't be self-sufficient, because it is about a lot of things. But it's important for us to have the ability to act, to have alternatives, I think to have control. We can have control through regulation, ownership, collaborations, working together, and that's the strategy that Norway has chosen, because a lot of different things can happen. We have climate change, fibers, networks can go down. We need to work on the robustness of that one. Cyber attacks already mentioned. We have political risk, which is also now important for us. So having the ability to act and work together with like-minded countries is the important thing for Norway to do, and that's why also I'm happy to be here and feel the spirit from India as well. And I'm really impressed by the work that has been done here when it comes to inclusiveness and scaling. I think we have a lot of things to learn in Norway from that one.
Thank you. I would very hard. Would you like to add something? All right. We're moving towards the end here, but just a quick question for you. Sindhu, India being a complex nation with quite the opposite kind of like large population in terms of size and demographics. For business, AI represents a competitive advantage. At the same time, one has to sort out what's the hype, what's the what will bring actually value to the business or the country as a whole. So I would just like a short remark from you. What do you think India is doing in terms of like making the right choices at this very moment?
Well, I think most of you have probably experienced it firsthand over the last days at the summit in terms of the right choices India is making, right? If you talked about digital public infrastructures earlier on, I mean, think about bringing together a nation of 1.48 billion, right? So we've done that, right? And leveraging the power of technology. And that is a little bit of the foundational work also when we talk about AI. How are we bringing in AI to solve the needs of the country, right? Bringing it into education, into healthcare, into agriculture, right? All of these very pertinent needs of the hour is what we are focusing on, and making it inclusive, right? For the people, for the various states, and according to across the length and breadth. So that's a little bit, and at the same time, what you're also seeing from a tech perspective, Mala, for all the business community here in the room, we have a phenomenal tech ecosystem at play, a consumption ecosystem at play. So the market is phenomenally growing. We're talking about a 7.5% GDP growth, and poised to become the third largest economy in the world very soon. So in that sense, the time is right. So I can only say we are all about partnerships. It's all about inclusion, and we want to leverage tech for driving forward some of those large topics that I touched upon.
Thank you, Sindhu. And it's obvious that regulation alone will not build trustworthy AI, nor by innovation alone. I think it will be built. From this summit, that's what I gather, that it will be built in the intersection of values, maybe power, and also perspectives that you've shared today. This summit has really opened its doors to the world, and perhaps that is the real takeaway, that no nation can build trustworthy AI all by themselves. We have to cooperate. So thank you to our wonderful panel, and thank you to our wonderful audience. Thank you. And please, if you want to learn more about trust, there is a QR code on the screen appearing soon. Please just find out more. Thank you.